Hi all. Today, this mindfulness is not going to be guided. We are going to talk about nature. I thought this would be appropriate because it's springtime, so there's a lot of new things budding, the birds are back out, the days are longer, and for me and for a lot of my patients, it's the time to get outside more. I've always found that mindfulness is the easiest access through nature. And I think there's a few different reasons for that. One, we weren't born in houses. We're born to be cavemen and be a part of nature. And as we moved into houses and these more industrial lifestyles and with all the electronic buzz and noise, we sometimes feel really far removed from that. And a lot of times for myself, but also when working with patients, I've found that they always go to nature when we talk about a calm place, a safe place, when they're telling me they had a good weekend, they were somewhere in nature. So it's definitely a theme that I've noticed a lot, both in myself and in others. Another reason I think that nature can be so important is because things like water really speak to us. So, for instance, there's been a lot of studies showing that people that live near the ocean or a body of water are happier than people who don't. I don't know all the scientific evidence on it. However, we are basically big cucumbers with feelings. We are made of an exorbitant amount of water. So it makes sense that water would speak to us and we would feel some calming effect when we're near it. There's also been a lot of studies about the effects of emotions on water. If you're into it and have time, check out the Hashimoto studies. It talks a lot about water where they said, I love you to a jar of water and I hate you to a jar of water. And then they froze it and they saw the fractals that it made. And the ones that you said, I hate you to, they're all like gross and distorted and had a brownish color. And the other ones that I said, I love you to are magnificent, beautiful structures. So it's really cool. However, I think that does show that water carries energy, and we know that as humans, we carry energy. So it makes sense that getting some calming energy from water sources might help us feel more calm in general. Another layer that I'll add is if you can get on the water and you're not seasick, like a boat, a paddleboard, a kayak, it can be extra calming. And again, I won't pretend to be the expert on this. However, I guess it is something of a calming effect because it's very womb-like to be kind of bobbing and rocking. And when we rock or bob, it stimulates our vagus nerve, which is the biggest nerve in our body that carries information back and forth from our brain to our body and our body to our brain. However, this nerve actually carries more information from our body into our brain. So when things happen in our body, and our body's nice and calm, it sends the message to our brain to be nice and calm. So if you can get on the water and have that kind of bobbing, moving motion, that might help. And if you can't get on the water, but you're sitting near it, maybe even having like a rocking motion. We rock our babies. We rock when we're old. We don't do that a lot in our adult life. But that helps to stimulate the vagus nerve and can be very calming. If you yourself or if you know somebody who's on the autism spectrum, that's actually a self-soothing method that a lot of them use as well. And we see it sometimes as not really fitting in or being appropriate after a certain age. However, I think they're onto something because it is very calming. So take from that what you will. And if you're able to go out and be in nature, that's wonderful, and I really encourage you to do that. However, if you are a city dweller, if you're very busy, if you're just not able to get out right now because of a physical limitation or transportation or for whatever reason, we're going to do something that's a little bit more low-key. So the mindfulness for today is called See Nature. So you can take that very literally and get out in nature, or the card's going to give us a little suggestion and we'll talk about that. Recognizing how the natural world and the human-made world are intertwined can bring great joy and appreciation. When we take the time to see nature in the environment around us, it opens us up to a sense of wonder. Take some time to explore your surroundings and look for nature in unexpected places. A tree, a bird, a flower, a gorgeous sunset, or maybe a drop of rain. Once you train your mind to see small moments of beauty, you can cultivate moments of joy in everyday life. So there's a lot of suggestions on here, but it's also sometimes just noticing something small. If you've ever noticed a dandelion or a flower growing out of a crack in the pavement, sometimes it gives us pause and we stop and wonder at it. Or that saying, stop and smell the roses. It's actually saying stop and take a mindful moment and enjoy something beautiful, but also enjoy something that's natural and is nature bound. Another way you could do this, even from inside your house, if you're still hibernating or aren't able to get out due to mobility reasons, is check out the clouds. What are the clouds doing? Looking at the weather. Do you see any birds outside? Is there anything kind of flying by? Is the wind maybe picking something up? Can we just notice the wind for a moment too? So there's a lot of ways that we could do this or use this one to our advantage, even if we're not taking a hike or going out in the woods or getting in a kayak and being on a lake or the ocean. So taking these really small moments is training us to be more mindful and to look for things. If you have small children or just children in general, we've done this before. I spy with my naked eye or my little eye, right? We do this in the car. We do this places. So maybe even making it a game for yourself, or if you're using this one with children, to find something that's nature made, even in the concrete jungle, even if you're living in the city. Find one small thing and appreciate it for a moment. I hope that you guys enjoyed talking about this exercise. I know we didn't actually do it together. However, I'm going to encourage you to do this on your own. If you can get outside, great. If not, also great. You can still do this one. I would love any feedback that anybody has to give me after doing this. Like I said, we can make it a little bit of a game, have fun with it. It doesn't have to be sterile. And it can take 5 seconds or it can take 5 minutes. It's whatever you want it to be, whatever you have time for. Or I shouldn't say have time for. That's something I'm trying to correct for myself. What can you make time for? Can you give yourself 5 seconds this week to try this exercise and see how it goes? Whatever you choose, I hope that you enjoy it, and I hope that you have a very mindful day. Goodbye.